fact check. How many of...
Thank you so much, Sunita.
Let's do a quick fact check. How many of you people use Jira here? Yep. So Jira has very cool AI things that you can use, right? There is a example that I use to formulate JQL queries, right, with AI. So that's a personal experience that I have. So there are, like, we can have workshops like this. So please let us know in the, there will be a survey form that will be sent out to you folks in an email after the session. Let us know like what you would like to learn. Like the TPM resource hub is a very good idea. So we'll work on that.
But again, right, all of you gave us excellent ideas about tools that you have used and leveraged, which has worked for you. Put that in the survey. And as we said, sir, we'll work on the hub. But how would you know if we've not worked on it? Nobody asked, right? That's why you go and follow the channels, the LinkedIn, the Accord, the Slack, and ask there. Hold us accountable. Hey, you said you'll work on the hub. When is it due? Use your TPM skills to your usage, okay? Leverage. Submit a ticket if you can. Yeah. So
going back to the session, very well said, Sunita, about the strategies. I love those strategies. I'm going to let those innovative strategies and forward thinking ideas marinate in our minds.
but we are Indians, all of us, so far. Okay. So whenever we talk about marination, it needs to have some masala into it, right? But this is, we are not taking any cooking classes here. We have masala tea for you right behind. So this is where you can use your networking cards. All of you have that in your swag bag. Take it out, see what is the question. If you like the question, initiate your conversation with it. But if you think you have this swag and can do better, please do so. Okay? So this is your time. Don't be shy. Meet more people. Use those cards at hand and introduce yourself. We'll reconvene at 12:30.
12, 12.
12. Okay, we have 45 minutes at 12. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll do it after. He said, we said. Okay, everyone. I hope you guys had a good networking session with each other. New connections, directly connected on LinkedIn, right? Okay. But if you have missed out, we'll get you covered. We have a lunch session where you can connect more. But before moving on to that, let's move on to our next topic, which is emerging trends in program management. And to deliver it, we have none other than a leader in scaling teams and driving transformation at a global e-commerce company, Raju Vusirikala. With 20 years in engineering, agile transformation, and technical program management, Raju has led teams at Intuit, Salesforce, Oracle, Visa, and many more. Please give it up for Raju, everyone.
Good afternoon. Okay, just take a moment and read that quote. It clearly resonates who we are. The best TPMs aren't just project managers; they are the technology leaders without code commits. So I guess you can relate well. The key thing here is the technology leaders, right? So we are the ones deeply embedded within the delivering the software that scales to the millions of users, as well as delight the customers, and more importantly, connecting the dots. Why we are doing what we are doing, and we are the glue to the organization. Lot more things as TPMs. Just that we don't commit the code. So with that, yeah, welcome all of you, awesome TPMs. It's really nice to see a lot of energy. And the first session, Sunita did a wonderful job and excellent questions. And that's when I realized, we should do this session as a collaborative session. So it's not like I come and do the Gyan session or anything. So I wanted to learn more from you also. So we'll do it as a more interactive as well as we are going through. And then definitely big thanks to the TPM Trails. First time I came across this organization this weekend only, thanks to Malvika, spotted me. But now I'm a big fan of that organization. So we will take this forward in a big way in India. And then thanks to Intuit. So this was my second home for longest time. I was in Intuit for 13 years. This is like my home court. So done a lot of presentations and all that. And then a lot of friends I could see Intuit folks here. So good to be back at Intuit. So yeah, as I said, let's make it interactive. Yeah. Okay. So briefly, before getting into the details, what you are going to see, right? There are 3-4 things, not too many. So we'll just see, how we came here together, as in into the TPM journeys, right? So we'll just do that, and then what are the challenges that we are facing today, right? And in future also, what we are foreseeing the challenges, and then see how the market and the emerging trends are happening, so that we can leverage and make it to our benefit, right? So how do you stay ahead in this journey, right? So that's how three sections. There is simple ones, and then we do a lot of interactive as well, right? Feel free to stop me anywhere, and then we can discuss, debate, things like that. So with that, so I'm sure all of you. I think when the Sunita asked that question, right? Who started with TPM? I think there was one person there, but other than that, all of us came through some other role we played. Maybe just shout out, what are the different roles I wanted to see, because not just everybody is a coder, but maybe you played a different role. So okay, so yeah, just shout out. Yeah, quality engineering, DevOps, application engineer, business analyst, project manager. Yeah, that's I want to cover that also. Like developer. Yes. What other roles? There are so many roles. I mean nowadays, right? So you must have started at somewhere. So then you ended up into the TPM, right? So by the way, I wanted to tell you that this session, let's do it as like a for you. I mean for us, that we introspect and see how we can take. I mean because this whole point of this meetup is to see how we are in this journey, and then how we take it forward, and how we elevate ourselves in the process, and then collective intelligence. So there is, as you can see from the questions itself, see there are like just in for 15 minutes we could see like at least 10 different tools people are using for different things, right? So imagine how much we can gather here in this journey. So somebody suggested also TPM Trails, so they will collect all the kind of the tools that everyone is using, so we'll share it. Yeah. Yeah, as you can see, there are different roles people are playing. Anybody came from non-IT side of it? Somebody asked also, like from the HR or other sides of it. And then, yeah, there are a couple of posts. So yeah, so as you see, like now we all came from different roles, and then over the journey, so we would be pivoting and then trying out different roles. So when you are in some journey, right, like you will keep on looking out for things that are connecting well with you, right? So same thing for me. I mean, I just started as a developer like three decades back. Don't guess my age because I'm at 28. So But I'm morphing myself into versions, right? 2.0, 3.0, like that. So now I'm in the 3.0. So I was developer, then tech lead, then quality engineer, then some managerial tracks and build teams and also deliver programs. But the way it came to the TPM journey is all thanks to my manager. At that time, it was Intuit only. So they spotted me the way I was running the things in my other roles. So they said, okay, why don't you try out the TPM leader role? So I don't know where I'm getting into. So, but I thought, okay, let me give it a try. If somebody's approaching it, so we should give it a thought always before saying no, right? So that's why I got in. Then I did some connects. That time there were no TPM Trails or TPM events. So I don't have good network of people who are doing this job for some time, right? But somehow I got to talk to a bunch of folks, what it involves and what is the role and things like that. There were a lot of ambiguity at that time, but still I got some inputs and then understood what it takes to go in that journey. So it's been like 8 years or so. I've been in the TPM side of things. It's been running great. So that, yeah. So if you look at it, right? So just reflect on it again, right? What are the things we do as a TPM, right? I mean, there is a job description. The roles are there, but in reality, what you are doing it. I mean, there are obviously we have to deliver programs. Doesn't matter which company it is, and on time, on budget, and other things. And then you have the you have to. I think there are things like where, and somebody mentioned also, where you are actually taking your program team, right? Program team is until in current companies we call it four in the box, 4 in the box, 3 in the box. So where the key roles like engineering, product, I see my Walmart friend here. So engineering, product, UX, and program. So we all in one unit. So we go together and deliver to the product. So where the TPM's role is to map what is the company's vision and then how whatever we are doing it, how it is lining up. So TPMs play a big role there also. Okay. Yeah, and then obviously we do. That's the strategic alignment we are talking about. So it's called, we also say like line of sight in Intuit terminology, like shared vision and all that. So where you are, whatever you are doing, how it is connecting to the company's big why. Okay. So I just put, whenever we say TPM, right? So people relate to, okay, he's the glue for my team. Or some people say duck in the pond. So it's like, it looks calm, but in the under the water, it will be little fluttering like anything, right? So that I connected well. And so sometimes it's like we are like generalists and specialists also, depends on the context. And then we will be, asked, and role experts is like you have to zoom in and zoom out. Always like you keep hearing this terminology also. So what other tags you guys got or titles? Somebody peel, huh? You peel the onion, okay? Onion peelers while crying, no, without crying. Coordinator, chaos coordinator, chaos coordinator. Okay.
Something like central nervous system. Central nervous system. Yeah.
Oh, feel good, man. So central, huh? Total chaos problem management. And then you may have heard, right, a conductor, orchestrator, like there'll be 50 people doing different things, but it comes as a symphony, right? So that's another thing, you can connect well, right? So I just wanted to put it out there. So we all play in different contexts, different roles, right? So yeah, now the real meat. So we have 3 sections, as I said, right? What are the challenges we are facing, and then how we are leveraging the current trends to make it better, right? So let's see. So what is the biggest challenge you as a TPM?
No, I mean, we make the dev team, QA team, product team accountable, but
Yeah.
we face intense hate for it because of our questioning the accountability of the team members. It's a very thankless job.
thankless time. Yeah.
Even at victories, it is the individual team's victory rather than the glue's victory.
Right. When things are going wrong, then the people realize.
Yes.
So, then TPM. I don't know that also may not come always, but yeah. But I hear you. So that's one of the common things. So actually, I'm a people person from the beginning. So then my manager, TPM, once said, say, hey, Raju, you cannot be nice to everyone. So your job role is to be strict, and people should be. She didn't say hate, but it's like
I mean that is the biggest challenge. As in, I am good to
but,
everyone.
That is not my personality, so I just go with my flow. So. Yeah. So what else? One is that the perception part of it, right? Yeah. This is another biggest thing, right? But that is one of the strengths also. You can say, like if you do well, that's it, right? So you'll be successful. Basically, convincing without authority. What else? What are the challenges?
One challenge which I face is
guys, when people are talking about the challenge, right? So you reflect and see how you would do, because not everyone is same, right? So some of them, they do very well in that kind of situation. So this is the forum you guys can share. I'll work with Malvika and see how we can bring some of these things into another virtual session or something, right? So sorry.
one challenge which I face is like where to let go and where to draw boundaries, because as a TPM,
Right.
Yeah, so where to draw boundaries in the sense, as a TPM, sometimes you wear an architect hat and you be part of system design. Sometimes you are wearing the hat of product
Sometimes
manager.
you go deeper
PM,
into that area.
So it becomes difficult, like then there's so much in your plate suddenly.
Yes.
So yeah, that's one thing.
Yes. And saying no also in the process. Yeah, so somebody. So these are very, very important, guys, because that's once we know what is the problem space, we can solve, right? Like, at least we'll group solve some of these things, at least. We'll see.
So TPMs are individual contributors most of the time,
Yes.
and you most of the time work in silos, right? So you have to battle it out on your own. So there is most of the time there is no help that you can, or you can see someone growing and you can follow that same path, right? So that's one of the challenges, right? You have to make mistakes and grow and make mistakes again and then go.
But you want to learn from mistakes from others, not from our mistakes. Yeah, but that's a challenge, right? I mean, not every organization has fortunate to have good TPM hierarchy. Yeah.
When the cross-functional leaders have a disagreement, not between the leaders whom we work. So if at all, if you take an organization where cross-functional teams like product managers, right? They have their own cross-functional
their leadership. Right?
Similarly, UX. And similarly, engineering, right? If any one of us, any one of them in a disagreement, I've seen a practical problem where product decides and UX design is not willing to support, or they are not ready, right?
So there is always, got it.
I mean, bringing the leaders in the same, that's when the real challenge, because we go escalate to up to one level, thereafter,
you have to go to the tiebreaker, basically.
And always
right?
my leadership will say that, always my leadership say that, please do call it out. You don't need to be nice to everyone. At the same time, you are not here to make relationship, but still we need to influence people, come together and work. So that's one of the
very valid point. Yeah. So we'll keep going. I think, okay, one last one.
Yeah. So I would like to tie a couple of things that were there in the slide as well, right? Which is the problem that we're facing right now as TPMs. As you move up the ladder in the TPM career graph itself, when we started off as TPMs, you would probably get engaged in one or two programs. Then you start engaging with multiple programs as you grow up the ladder, like what somebody was pointing out earlier as well, which is we are like a consult for multiple things. So where you want to go deep and where you want to be shallow and understand, that is one problem that's tied to another piece, which is As you grow up the ladder, you'll be managing multiple programs. When you become a jack of all trade, you want to understand a lot of different information. So how do I consume bunch of information across different products, across different programs at the right point in time to make an informed decision ASAP, right? That becomes tricky right now for me. So in a multi-metrics organization, you'll have to deal with multiple programs that will have multiple stakeholders. You'll have to consume all those information
as
at right
you are
time.
scaling, how do
Right.
you
How do you manage that, getting that information as a pull mechanism for you, so that you are abreast of all the information at that point in time, so that you are able to be a right consult and take decisions and judgments based on that. Right now, that is the biggest challenge for me. Wherein, is there a tool that can help me to consume all this, like the summarizing agent that we have right now for certain docs? So I spend a lot of my time in the late night to go through all the PRDs, docs, and everything. So how do I make it more simpler, easier for me to consume?
Got it. Very wonderful points. So we'll cover some of them, and then during the breaks we'll go through that. So as I mean, just called out some of them you already came up here. So one is about that. I think I don't know whether anybody mentioned that. So one is about the execution focus to the strategic direction, right? So that is one thing. I mean, people are not used to, then that is one challenge. So they need to go through that. And then obviously navigating across the cross-functional teams. Nowadays, we are working with, because of the services-oriented architectures and all that. So there are so many teams. And then you have to work through the dependencies and also across geos and all that, right? So that is one. And then obviously we covered in the first session itself, rapidly evolving tech landscape. AI being the leader in that, but there are so many other aspects of tech, so that we will touch on it. And then again, I don't know this name. So balance between the depth and the breadth, right? So as you are growing, and you may be managing multiple programs, but then how do you can be deeper and know everything, right? So that's how other one. And the somebody mentioned about the program management downwards, right? So there is a role clarity one, right? Everyone say TPM. So we had to go through the overhaul of the TPM roles, and then we kind of divided, because there are some of them are traditional program management roles, and some of them are tech ops, and some of them are TPM roles. So we did that industry baseline in our company. But that's the role clarity. You should be having it also. If the company doesn't have it, you try to get there because that's important. Otherwise, I mean, you are like, if you don't have the right goal, so doesn't matter what you are doing, so you may not reach there. Yeah, that's and the last one, I think someone, yeah. So it's we will do everything, right? When it comes to visibility and recognition, we may be the last one, but that also can change. I mean, again, there are best practices, and people started following. So we run few initiatives around that. So as long as the top management understands, then then we can influence to get that downwards, right? So these are like different challenges that we have. So now let's go to the trends. So, but the good news is, it is very well recognized that our roles, the TPM roles, are very critical to any complex program that we are delivering it. So because it is not like, I mean, now it's all connected world, right? There are failure stories also, right? Then when they do the 5 why analysis or whatever, right, where the things are, so not having the right TPM structure or the depth, so that it is coming that way, right? And also obviously it's a complex in nature. We do need the TPM, so that is the good news. So let's go get better at it. So what is industries talking about, right? So these are the emerging trends. So I kind of categorized. I mean, it would be falling in one of those things, so whatever is happening today. So first one is obviously the AI driven. So if you're not speaking about AI as a company, so you are not seen, right? So today that is another reason we started with the AI session. So Sunita did a wonderful job covering a bunch of them. And then the second one is again, so it's all about the platforms, right? Platforms as in you build once and then deliver it to multiple customer bases, right? But that's a platform thinking, right? So and the platforms not only for the customers and also for the developers, right? So if you are working on a company which is like big retail, so it could be million employees. So you are building some product that should be scalable and performing well, right? So that's what those are the programs. When you are leading those programs, the skill comes out, right? So that's the kind of trend it is going on, because now everyone is talking about the platform. So we'll go a little bit deeper in each one. Other one is like, again, when they say TPM, the T part is the technical part, right? So that's what another thing we are all expectation from the across the board. Yeah, he's a TPM, so he better be knowing what he's speaking, and then and he needs to know the depth and then breadth part of it, right? So that's what the third one. So these are all expectations are. That's how the trend is happening right now. So then you have to get into that, right? So we'll go to the third section at that time. The fourth one is about metrics, right? So it's not about the delivery metrics that we will do. Okay, we are delivering in the Q1 3 features, 0 bugs. It used to be that way, maybe, but what are you delivering? So we'll go to that one more click down of that, and then again, right, automation for everything. So that's other trend. So people are not. Nobody wants to. Everybody wants shortcut, right? I mean, which is fair. So so how do we? That is the trend. So how do we get there? So let's quickly go through the trends in a little deeper. So as I said, right, so it's not about the program managers using AI. So that's what Sunita covered. This is about if you are a program manager running a program which is actually building a AI product or AI driven product. How do you do it? Because it's not like a traditional programming or program management where you would be having a project plan and the delivery. Okay, why didn't you deliver it? So okay, my model is not running, or like it's not performing. I need to redo that entire thing. So then you are like again another 3 months or another 1 month. So how do you manage those as a program manager, right? So that's that piece. That's the trend, right? So then when you are working in those kind of programs, you obviously you have to get to the details of what it involves, right? And it's not like only just managing the show, right? So, and then that's what I mentioned about you speak AI, but not just organizing the things. That's that. And then yeah, it's platforms. When I said platforms, right, it's a developer experience platforms also, right? If you're working on rolling out, let's say, CI/CD pipeline to the entire company, so your platform should be like scalable. It should not be down, and it should be save the end goal that your goal should be to save time for the developers and also increase the quality of that, right? Like that. So you always like wear that TPM hat and connect it. So that anyway, we'll see as a TPM what you would do, but that's the trend. So everywhere they are talking about platforms. So we call it jokingly the platforms. So it is about that in the current trend. So and then yeah, it's also internal, and other one is infrastructure, right? So everyone, I mean, the cloud is there for quite some time, but not everyone has gone to the public cloud. So now more and more companies are doing it, or they are using the tools which are on the cloud. So effectively they are in the cloud journey. So these are all tech side of it, the happening around. And then yeah, this is the another point. So everyone mentioned before. So here we are actually hybrid roles, right? Even though we say TPM, but we are expected to be as part of our roles and this responsibilities. So we are expected to play the customer product hat and engineering hat, right? So the depends on the context. So you would be doing it. So that's how even the Walmart in our company. So we were hiring process. We started embedding these things so that it is expectation is clear from the day one, right? So that's that's the trend again, right? So TPM, but you don't may not be knowing to the level of engineering manager, but you need to know how the services operate, or if it is in service oriented architecture, what databases, ask the right questions, how do you leverage, because there could be already some solution out there. So unless you know the understanding of the nuances, you will not get there, right? So that is that one. So you are be expected to change the roles here. Metrics, I think I mentioned before. It's about again goal, right? What is the customer value you are delivering it? It could be our customer value, or for company also it could be increasing the revenues, or reducing the friction in the customer journey, things like that, right? So you define. I mean, this is where you would be playing a role when you are defining the program plan. So you would be asking those questions and collaborate to arrive that, right? So yeah, and again, always focus on not just the delivery. So impact, is it impacting or not? Otherwise, tick mark, okay, I thought we did 10 releases, done. So that's not how it is. How much it impacts really, right? So yeah, and then yeah, that's what business value we are saying, right? So business value, connect the business value, right? And the automation, right? So here, I mean, I don't need to go deeper in this, but this is another one. So I think we can do a crowd sharing of it. What are the different tools that we have out there? Like this, Sunita mentioned about, like she showed few tools. Copilot is heavily being used these days, and but again, all AI tools, you need to do your due diligence also, right? Like, you know, actually, I was doing a master's in a data science program. So it is an open book for exams and everything. So they said it's ChatGPT, but you are on your own risk. So it gives every time different solutions. So how do you narrow it down, right? So that's when you kind of ask the prompt engineering. Someone mentioned, right? You ask the right question right away, the tonality or the solution that you are navigating to. So that's, I mean, using a tool is one thing, and how to use the tool also you need to have that, right? And that test, I mean, the automation in every aspect of it, right? We recently brought a tool for something called PM Assist, so which is like that is one of the pain points for to give a clear-cut details about what you wanted to build, the requirements and all, right? So then after that, how do you translate it to the execution by creating the epics or the stories or some things and the test cases? So we are using that tool, GenAI tool, so which is actually does a lot of those things. So I mean, we started seeing those benefits of the tools by using it right way. Definitely TPMs, I think Sunita showed few tools also, like summarizing. And I have been a fan of Microsoft Teams. I wasn't so fan before. Zoom was our tool, but nowadays it's doing so well in terms of summarizing the entire script, and also it will give you highlights of that, and then recording and everything. So leverage all those funds, right? When they're saying, okay, hey Raju, are you sending the minutes? No, we'll get you the full details, and then it will go as a nice summary. But you have to review before sending it. Yeah. But yeah, that's what it is. Everything about automation. Yeah. So now you saw the trends. I just put it out again. So when it's, I mean, people say, right, like you learn most when you are in the uncomfortable zone. So just take a look at it, and which are the most uncomfortable for you, and then those are the ones you need to focus. Right. I mean, I talked about AML. And then platform. The role clarity and wearing the multiple roles, the data-driven things, and then automation. So I will use this, or like you picture it, not photo, picture the content, and then we'll see at the end. So what is the one thing you picked up from the? So I gave the question already. Okay. Yeah, so now we gone through the challenges, then we saw the trends, how the trends and expectations are happening, and then how do you future-proof ourselves? I mean, as a TPM, right? So definitely adaptability, right? I mean, whatever we were doing 4-5 years back is all gone, right? So the way we are doing is all now it's a new way of things. Actually, why 5 years, right? It's like just 1-2 years, things are changing so rapidly, right? So adaptability is the key. Right, and then obviously you have to learn, unlearn sometimes to the old ways, and then relearn, right, and then embrace the future. So again, right, so what we focus on, I just mentioned the AI programs and the platform upskilling. So here, the certifications and few other things can come into play. Other one is, another skill. I mean, you may be doing already, but that is something you can actually master it in the process, is the using the data metrics. How do you do the storytelling? Like, how do you convince? I mean, the convincing and all, happen. It may not be happen with just saying that, you have to do it, versus you back up with the data and then give that storyline. So, I mean, you can focus on that as well. Okay. So I'm almost to the end. So you saw that five points, right? So what is one thing you want to take it from today and morning session as well? And then what are you going to focus on it? Register, or you type it up, or like write it in for yourself. So then at least you know, okay, there is something I need to focus on, right? Otherwise you come, go, I mean, the session is over, you met people, but you won't go. So, okay. Thank you everyone for joining the session. And you had to, I mean, it's like everyone is busy with all programs and everything. So, but you took time to come over to, learn and interact and connect with others, right? So that's great. So you had to pat yourself back. Sometimes we have to do ourselves, right? Yeah. Anything? Yeah.
Is there any AI tool to get alignment between different teams? I mean, in a microservice architecture, you'll have different teams working on different services.
Right.
And the biggest problem is for the success of a program that all of them need to work on this on high topmost priority. But that does not happen in a matrix organization. How do we leverage AI or some tool to get that alignment?
It's all about first of all, the mindset, and then build on top of it to align to that, right? So there is nothing like a silver bullet. Okay, give me the script to align my 3 leaders. There is nothing like that, right? So, but it's all about mindset. I mean, obviously the alignment is not happening, means like at one level, people, I mean, wanted to drive to that outcome, right? So you see who is that person who is fully aligned in the chain of command. So work with that, and you can leverage your organization to go there. So, I mean, that's what I think you asked that question before also,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I mean, primarily
but, there is no silver bullet.
Yes.
So if at least if you have it, I will take it. Also.
Negotiation is primarily the silver bullet.
Negotiation, and also identify who is fully aligned on that, right? Definitely CEO would be for sure, right? So before going to CEO, so the next level. So you go that way. So I have written mails to our CEO also. And then when they are doing good things, so we appreciate also. We do both. So it's not always when you go a problem, then you're going to the escalation versus, you do when things are going well.
Thanks for that.
Thanks, Raju. Yeah. Thanks for a wonderful session. But when I entered into the TPM role, I was into project management. I'm a properly trained and done a PMP certification and all the Agile certification. So somehow I feel that, the T in the TPM, right? So it's again based on the organization, how deep the T should be, right? At the same time, when you are evaluating your profiles, like, to bring it to your organization, any organization for that matter. Now, I personally see that we don't have something which is a non-profit organization like a PMI or somebody who is keenly looking into a TPM kind of a certification with respect to the organizations as well. Like, you have organizations, though there are service-based organizations, they still do develop and, deliver for customers, right? Similarly, productized organizations like who is a B2C and, B2B as well.
So you're looking for certifications in the TPM space?
Right now, it's not there. I understand. But as a TPM, this is a community, right?
We can start our own
non-profit as a non-profit organization and develop a kind of a content which will be helpful,
right?
Because we wanted to try more and more TPMs as well.
So
There
one
what is it? Okay. Okay. Thanks.
It's coming. Upcoming.
Good that I already identified that.
But you see, one thing though. So in the way we were, I mean, I'm telling my team is about, it's not about the TPM certification, right? To get to the depth of it, so technical depth, so you could be doing in the, let's say, cloud certification or the domain certification. So that gives you the product side of it also, right? So you should be doing those things as well, right? So that's how it should go.
That I have done. And if you see scaled agile, right? There's a framework, which is an advanced in the agile world, but you cannot adopt 100% of it and you can tailor it, right? That's what we are doing it. But again that scaled agile until unless the organization itself into the transformed as an agile.
No, but the T, as I said, right, the T is about, the technical depth means like what depends on the type of programs you're handling. If you're working on a cloud program, you should know how the cloud operates, right? So for that, there are enough certifications. So you go with that approach. That's better.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Actually, I have two comments. I found your insights very insightful, those trends. One trend that you mentioned, the AI-driven programs, the rise in the AI-driven program. So I just want to double down on that. What's your perspective? How it is differs from the traditional PDLC? What kind of changes we can see into the planning, execution, and the overall risk management cycle? So that is one question. The other observation about the trend is automation everywhere, right? So how to deal with that? Because sometimes the leadership or a lot of folks have the unrealistic expectation that they feel with the automation they can replace everything and all. Lot of times these AI tools and all the automation they can do work
To
till
some
70%,
90%, but
yeah. But whatever remaining is very crucial, very
and
important.
that
right?
sometimes
Some of
it
the
takes
risk,
a while.
some of those things. So how to manage those expectations in that trend?
Yeah.
So these two questions.
I think, yeah. Yeah, so first question is about the AI driven, right? So I think I manage one of the programs. So actually for most of our products, right? So we have a data science team also. So they do the modeling part of it and all. So there the one key thing is like experimentation. So don't be thinking that, okay, you build this this algorithm and then push it to the production, won't work. So that experimentation, you have to have it that rapid experimentation approach and give that time to iterate through. Okay, so that is one key difference. And obviously, the where the tools and other things, right? So whether they are using the right tools, and then we have a company-wide anything, any frameworks that they are using it, things like that. And the second one is about what was that? Automation, right? Automation everywhere. I mean, people know, right? I mean, it's like, okay, 100% means like, it's not like a code automation, test automation. We have a code coverage, 95%, 98%. But the 2% can bring you system down also. I mean, if that's the case, right? So people know that, but they, you see, you are going to a some goal, which is like, which will solve majority of it. So that way. So I think they understand that's okay. Any other? So now I think some of them mentioned some challenges. If you have a point of view or things that are working well in your teams, maybe this is the time also you can just tell.
Hi Raju, thank you for this session. It's really insightful. I think you just said that you're very nice to people, right? I think a lot of people would reflect back. I think everybody want to very nice to the people because a job is to get the things done as a delivery manager, and now you also wanted to grow in your career, right? So you try to build a good network and try to talk to them, EMs, PMs. But end of the day, when things comes to work, the moment you just get closer to them, there's always a delay, right? Like, main de dunga, this, that, and all, right? So at that point of time, like, sorry? Yeah, and that point of time, we also wanted to, probably just go extra mile and say, hey, dude, like, what happened? Like, you told the ETA was this, but you never came back to me. So how do you really tackle all these things? Right? Because at that point of time, you also wanted to be nice because your feedback goes to your manager, escalation happens and things.
Okay.
And
so I got it.
Yeah. So how do you really tackle this, right?
Yeah. So this is something, I mean, I'm also slowly mastering over the years, right? So because that's my weak point, but at the same time, so you work with them. I mean, you go into their shoes. So they are saying it because it's not like they went to movie or something and then they, it's not like that, right? So there would be genuine reasons. Most of the time they won't express or they may not tell unless you are in their shoe. Okay, yeah. So that dependency one, he didn't give it on time. So obviously our got delayed, but they forgot about that because they're at the end game. So they are looking at it that way. So, oh man, I couldn't make it. But actually, as a program manager, you should be predicting, oh man, this may get delayed. So better start calling it out. So that's some of the things, and then we always go with the data, right? So and people respect. Actually, they do respect, and in fact, it's like, okay, when I'm if you go, so they provide the information and they try to make it. And also, this is the moment of time to inspire and actually motivate them as well, right? So yeah, be there with them. That's the thing. I mean, you have to be with them in these shoes. I mean, it's not like you have to provide the report. That's why you are after them, right? So, cool.
Actually, I don't have a question. I have my 2 cents for the
please.
TPM role. So, as most of us here are coming from different background, right? I mean, and for some of us, those have been the core areas of the product development. So, first thing is, what we do is by choice, not by force, right? So self-doubting is the last thing that TPM should have in their mind.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that applies to everyone, but
that's my take on the role. That this is not something which has been forced upon me. This is a choice that I have made, and I want to pursue doing this. And I really take pride in this particular role. And it's important for all of us to understand that, because there is nobody else that's going to tell you that, right? There are very few actually that will tell you that. And even if they're doing it, they might be just maybe what do you call, faking it, right? Not necessarily telling by heart. So that's my 2 cents in general on the role. So since a lot of you, have coming from a different background, I thought I should tell my 2 cents.
And then leverage this community, right? So
Totally.
So
Yes.
this is what happens, right? So cool.
I have one question. Can I ask one question, Raju?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you for the session. So I just had one question, right? Because of the TPM, the T in the TPM, I think we all try to learn the domain and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's used to, in case if you want to kind of, I don't want to use the word, but then I feel it's just as a reason given to us, like, okay, you're not doing well because you're not a technical person. I feel that's not right. And one thing what I wanted to ask is, as leaders, you have the visibility of what TPMs do and how they can support and bring all of them together.
Yes.
But then one question is, as from down to top, right? What top to down is doing to ensure we get the same level of respect or power as a product as the other four in the box,
Right.
for example, how they get it. We should have a voice as well. We do have, but then because it's an IC role, basically you feel left out and you don't see how your leaders support you where it's needed. So what do you think, in your conversation with your peers, with other job families, how is that the role itself can be respected more, so that we're all trying to reach the timelines and impact in OKRs, as you mentioned, right? So yeah, I feel like if that visibility is there to us, it'll encourage us more to do more.
Yeah. So few things we keep doing it also. One is about recognizing. Let's say you did some job, and then your peer recognizes it, and then use that recognition to the broader team, right? So sometimes it is like things are taken as granted, right? So the gratitude part should come into play, right? So, and some of them it will come that way. So the moment okay, you just, guys, all of you just go home, or like maybe in the afternoon, just send a note to one of your colleague who did an awesome job. So in some companies we have the framework itself to do like badges or something like that. But otherwise also just take a WhatsApp and just write two sentences and see.
I think it's just my perception. We, as TPM job family, I think we do it. I don't think we other job families reciprocate it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another one. So what I typically do is, like, when this happens, right? So I kind of loop them into the bigger team, so that it's like that, right? Give and take. So that's how it happens. Yeah.
Thank you.
I just want to add one more thing. Generally, right, the peer recognition in TPM group is very less. So engineering manager thinks my team, we don't mostly work as IC. Some of us are TPM managers where we have reportees. But it doesn't matter whether they work in your team, in your org or whatever. Please make it a practice to be there for your fellow TPMs. They need not be part of your same team, because generally, like for 5 to 6 teams, we have one TPM. So, okay, please be there for them so that they are there for you, so that you be there for yourself also. Please ensure you make it a practice every week, at least find something good that you have seen in a TPM and recognize them. You can extend it outside your organization also. So otherwise, sorry? Yes. Just show the power of TPMs, show that we are there for everybody and we are a growing community.
And highlighting what's been done, right? So it's like that. Sometimes otherwise it will just be middle, Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, Raju, for filling our minds with exceptional knowledge and insight.